Hello YouTube and welcome to my channel Eddie in Reading, and my name is Eddie, and today I'm bringing you a tag. I got tagged in a tag. I'm bringing you the loveliest decks tarot tag. I think, yes, the loveliest decks in my collection. I got tagged by Simply Hand, the creator of this tag. I really enjoy watching her videos, but yeah, here we go guys. Hopefully I won't ramble this time. And, you know, I said in the introduction that hopefully I don't ramble, but I was actually rambling in the introduction. But let us just start so that this video doesn't get really long. And I can't promise you that, guys, because I always ramble anyway. So it says prompt number 1, the Heartthrob. Which deck swept me off my feet at first sight? Well, actually, a lot of decks have done this for me over the years, but I decided that I was going to answer all of these as honest as possible, mostly because I just want to do that. But the first deck that I wanted to show you guys is this one. Let's see, the Red Raven Tarot by Luong. I always forget their name because I'm not used to their name. But this is the Red Raven Tarot, and the first time that I watched the few images that were available for this deck, I was just completely enthralled by it. As you can see, and I actually have a walkthrough of this deck on my channel. I'm not really sure if I already reviewed this or not, but it is very original. It has a very limited color palette. As you guys can see, it's only black, white, a little bit of gray, and red, but it works out so well. And as you also guys can see, the deck is horizontal, and you're meant to read it horizontally, which I really enjoy. I thought that was going to be a detraction from reading with this deck, but it actually isn't. It's actually a new experience, and I really like it. The cardstock on this deck is just amazing. But as you guys can see, it's mostly a shadow deck. For me, at least, it is a shadow deck, and I enjoy very much using it for myself, and it really did sweep me off my feet because I've never seen anything like this before in any tarot that I've come across. And not only is the art just so amazing, how I'm able to do daily draws with this deck is also quite unique. It opens up my mind into different things, and I really enjoy it. It is in order right now because it's a pip deck, and I wanted you guys to see the art of the majors. This is Justice, and but yeah, go ahead and check out my review and flip through of this deck. I think it is a review. I must have done it so long ago, I don't remember, but I do know that I have a flip through if you guys want to see this. But there it is. The first deck is the Red Raven Tarot by Luong. I am so sorry that I keep forgetting their name. I'm just not used to pronouncing it, and I just need to get better at it. Okay, the second prompt. 2 fingers, not 4. Second prompt is the Hopeless Romantic. Which deck feels the most dreamy and or romantic? Now, I'm a romantic. I don't keep any decks that I feel that are romantic or that are offering me very romantic insights. So I tend to say goodbye to those decks, even though I could very well like the art. on the deck. It's just not my type of reading. I don't like it. But this is the Dream Vision Tarot by Emma Zhang. And I am so excited because she's coming out with a new deck, and it's going to be based on Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass. I hope, because I did see the red and the white queen, and that's from Through the Looking Glass, not Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. And but the Dream Vision Tarot, is quite the dreamy deck. It is actually very appropriate, as you guys can see, very appropriately named the Dream Vision Tarot. It is very dreamy. It is very, what is the other word? Very alien and very intergalactic, very spatial, very expressionistic as well. I love this Devil card. It's just so good. And the feeling of the cards, well, I love this Tower card. It's a great depiction of the Tower card. But the feeling that you get, the feeling that I get when I look at these cards, it's actually quite dreamy. Like putting your hand out to the mist and not be able to grab it, but still able to feel it. That is exactly the feeling that I get when I read with this deck. And this deck reads so well with others. It likes to read for other people, I find. And it's very enjoyable to read for somebody when I'm using this deck, because it just pulls a lot from that person. It pulls a lot from me, from my intuition. And I really love this sort of foggy art style that Emma has with this deck. And it also shows up actually in the other deck that I have from her, the Dream of the Nile Tarot. But this one especially is quite dreamy. This is actually what it could feel to be trapped inside a dream. There's this sense of space, and there's a little sense of forebodance and a little sense of dread, but it's not unpleasant. It's actually quite enjoyable. It really is like a dreamy state. This deck takes you to that dreamy state, and for that reason I chose it. There are some people who actually feel like this deck is romantic, as I found out, but not for me. To me, it's actually quite a dreamy deck. It's actually quite an informative deck, and it's a pulling out emotions from other people sort of deck. And actually, it pulls out from my intuition as well. So very enjoyable to work with this deck. I can't wait to work with it again. I'm not really sure if I will do that this year, but still one of those decks that I really, really enjoy working with. And Emma Zhang is a fantastic artist. I follow her on Instagram and I follow her on YouTube as well. So, of course, I will have all of the information from the creators, if I have it, available down in the description below. But prompt number 3 is the Soulmate deck. And what deck do I feel the deepest emotional connection with? Well, that is actually quite easy for me. It's the Shadowscapes Tarot by Stephanie Puy-Moulin. This is my favorite tarot. Me and this tarot have a very deep emotional connection. This was the first tarot that I was actually able to bond with, which is quite unexpected, because I started reading with the Tot Tarot, and it was this Rider-Waite-Smith based tarot deck that I was able to connect better to it, and better, and I had better connections to the reading and better connection to the imagery, and it just connected better as well with my intuition and let that power flow through me and from the deck onto the reading. And it was this deck. Let me see if I can actually, there we go. It was this deck that finally got me that connection. And it was also this deck that finally, oh, sorry guys, I read with reversals, and I should have place these right side up before I made the video, but I didn't. Yeah, this deck was the one that prompted me to start working with the Rider-Waite-Smith system, and you know, it's one of those decks that really knows me because I allow the deck to know me, and because the deck actually enjoys working with me as well. I love this judgment, even though it's a little, it's very much a representation of the usual Rider-Waite-Smith, but I really love this depiction. And yeah, no, that this is my Soulmate deck for right now. I immediately know what the deck is trying to tell me every single time that I pull a card. I know why this deck is giving me that card. I know what the intention is for this deck, with this deck, for giving me that card. So this Page of Wands is just so fantastic. Every single one of these images is just amazing. But yeah, this is my Soulmate deck. This is the only deck that I have multiple copies of. And this is the deck that I most use to read for others as well, because again, it is a lot easier for me to read with this deck, since I have such a special and deep connection with it. So yeah, this is my Soulmate deck, the Shadowscape Tarot by Stephanie Puimula. I just wish that the cards were a little bigger, because there's a lot of detail in the card that we are unable to see, and the cards are actually quite small. Even though I have small hands, and this is actually the perfect size for me for a tarot. I think also that Stephanie would probably create a different tarot right now than this one, if she ever has the opportunity to do that. I hope she does, because she's a great artist, great fantasy artist, and yeah. I'm not gonna get rid of that deck ever. But okay, moving on to prompt number 4. This time it's 4 fingers. The self-love deck. Which deck helps me reconnect with myself and practice self-care or support. So honestly, guys, I don't keep a deck that isn't able to bring me good health, good self-care. Though one of the reasons why I do daily draws every day, it's because of that self-care. I journal every day because of that. But I did want to show you a deck that, and this is the Tarot of the Abyss by Anna Turian, that is the closest deck that I've had that has called me out on things, and I feel like it really knows me, and it really wants me to know myself better. This is this deck. Not to mention that this deck is also the only deck in my collection that I have that has a numerological 3 of Swords and a numerological 10 of Swords, and you can swap those with the deck. There's also a decan meaning of the 3 and the 10 of Swords. But yeah, so I just really enjoy looking at these lovers. If you guys cut my video, this makes an appearance in my favorite depictions of the lovers. I'm not gonna talk a lot about it right now, but this has a lot of meaning and symbolism for me, and I talked about that on that video. So if you guys want to watch it, you can definitely do that. I have more information on these lovers, the lovers card on that video. But yeah, talking about the 3 of Swords, there it is. This is a numerological 3 of Swords, guys. No complaints from me about the 3 of Swords when it comes to this deck. This is exactly what the 3 of Swords should look like for me. This growth of intelligence, this absorption of information, this is exactly what the Three of Swords is. This open book where you're actually getting something from it and having experiences from it. You know, and obviously then you take it somewhere else and then you carry on with that experience, and hopefully you're able to grow from that as well. So yes, this is the Three of Swords for me. This is a great representation of the Three of Swords. This deck does come with a, like I said, a regular deck in meaning of the Three of Swords. It's actually quite beautiful as well. It doesn't have the heart pierced by the Three Swords that I really dislike. But yeah, here is the Three of Swords. And, oh my gods, here's the Ten of Swords. Okay. Wow, I haven't used this deck in a while, and I did not expect this. Apparently, I'm being called to talk about this. So this is another representation of the Ten of Swords that really resonates with me. This is a numerological Ten of Swords for me, guys. This confrontation with your own intellect and learning that you have finished carrying out the experience and acquiring this wisdom and then reflecting it onto others and also yourself. This is exactly the Ten of Swords that I like. This sort of completion of the mind, not that extermination of the mind that I see in the Ten of Swords with the Deccan meaning. I am just baffled that I got to talk about this. I thought we were going to see more different images, but I'm really happy that this happened. Yes, the only thing that I would say here is that I know that people equate owls and with wisdom and intellect and cleverness. Actually, owls are pretty stupid. I would have loved better a raven or another corvid, a crow or a blue jay. But this, I know, I get it. Like this is seeing me. This deck is seeing me. So that's why I chose it as the self-care deck, because I get so excited when I'm using this deck. Because this is the only deck in my collection that actually has a numerological 3 and 10 of Swords. I'm actually going to move on. I'm not really sure what the next card is, but oh, here's a 9 of Pentacles. There we go. Beautiful card, of course. But yeah, this deck just takes me there to a self-care sort of place, and that's why I love it. And actually, it does this. It does this as well for others. I have read for others using this deck because it's not very scary, and it seems to be very straightforward. It seems to be very direct in its readings, and I actually like that. It seems to be also that this deck likes short readings, to the point readings. I very much enjoy using this deck every single time. Okay, so moving on, and then we have the Power Couple Combo, my favorite tarot and oracle deck pairing. And why? Well, usually I do not pair oracle with tarot in my practice unless I'm doing my wheel spreads, and then I do that. And I think this is coming out of no surprise to anybody, but I am going to show you guys again the Nameless One Tarot by Stephanie Prima, by Sia Hunt, who right now isn't able to do any wrong by me because her decks are just so cool. And this is a deck that has both tarot and, oh, let me pull it up, see, because this is quite the chunky deck, guys. Okay, let's see if we can have the whole card. There we go. This deck has 108 cards, and it has the 78 tarot cards plus 30 oracle cards. And as you guys can see, it's quite beautiful, and it actually works so well so well with the oracle. Oh, here's one of those oracle cards. This is the Disciple of the Moon. Oh, and by the way, this one was the Three of Coins. Well, you guys can see that. I don't have to tell you. Having a lot of fun working with this deck. This is the only deck that I'm using right now in Imulk. This is another oracle card, but I don't remember the name. It's a lot of oracle cards, 30 cards. But this is the Hangman. It's also just impressive in its symbology and using color psychology to provide messages. Even in this sort of simplistic sort of art style, there's so much that this deck, oh my god, there's so much that this deck wants to tell you. And the affirmations for the sigils, these are sigils, guys, as I think I've mentioned that before, but if you are seeing the Nameless One Tarot for the first time, these are sigils. The whole deck is based on these sigils and sigil magic, and the deck comes, this is another one of the oracle cards. The deck comes with affirmations for each of these sigils, and they're just so good. I really, really enjoy it. Oh, this is upside down. Again, this is the deck that I'm currently using for my daily draws. I haven't had the opportunity to read with others for this deck. I am not sure that I would. Just because this is another oracle card. This is the one that's supposed to be about calmness, I believe. I think so, because of the chamomile flowers. Yeah, so I was saying, these gestures still creep me out a little. I'm so creeped out with them, but I'm getting better. I actually got this card recently, upside down, by the way, and it did creep me out a little, but I was able to express myself very well in my journaling, and I actually really enjoyed my writing and my time with this card. But what I was going to say is, I'm not really sure if I'm going to read for others with this deck. It's even the less scary cards are scary. Not specifically to me, but it could get uncomfortable for others, in my opinion. But yeah, having a lot of fun using this deck, guys. I am not one single complaint. Not even because the cards are so chunky. I'm actually what I do is I split them in half, and then I just turn one of these upside down, and I hand shuffle that. I hand shuffle it in parts. There's nothing else that I can do. I have very small hands. Look, my hands are small, and see, this deck is just quite chunky in my hands. My husband's gonna have a blast looking at me in admitting that I have small hands, especially on camera. But I do. There's nothing I can do about it. But anyway, moving on. Oh yeah, there we go. The next one is the Secret Admirer, a deck I don't use often but secretly adore. This again is not a no-brainer. It is the Marielle Tarot by Marie White. I adore this tarot. This tarot is, if I can keep 3 of my decks, this would be one of those decks. I very much enjoy working with this deck every single time that I work with it. It's just that I need to be in the right mindset, and I need to be quite prepared to receive the messages that I get from this tarot deck. It's actually in order because I have put it away, and I put it to sleep. And basically it just means that I organize the deck in order, and I put it upside down in the little box, and it's just waiting for me to awaken it when I need to use it. But this deck likes to divine the future, and it's pretty good at it, in my experience, in my opinion. I do not have a practice where I future cast. I don't like it, not because I think there's anything inherently bad or wrong with it, because I want to be surprised by what's next. I don't really want to know what's coming. I want to either enjoy it at the time, or express my grief, or whatever is the emotion that I need to express at that moment. But this deck truly likes to divine into the future, and I love this Hierophant card. It's so bizarre, it's so unique, and that's why I avoid using it. It's lets me know a lot of things that I really don't want to know before they happen, even about myself, and also about the important people in my life. And that is the only reason why I avoid it. I don't believe that Marie White intended this deck to be for future casting, specifically. And I don't specifically use it for that either, but that's just how it tends to work for me. So yeah, I adore this deck. This deck wants me to explore things about myself and about the important people in my life before it happens. Like it's sort of like a warning, I want to say, but yeah, I tend to avoid it for only that reason. Not because it's dark and scary, because people think that this deck is quite scary, and I see it. I do see it, especially with cards like this death card. But I just enjoy it so much. Marie White is a fantastic artist. It took her 10 years to create this deck. 10 years, I think. And every time I reread the booklet, which is what is the name of the book? Is it Landscapes of the Abyss? That's what it is. Landscapes of the Abyss. I just have a blast rereading everything, and the symbology and her intention and the meaning that came when producing this deck. I just love it. I adore it. This is my seldom that I use deck. I use it once every 3 to 5 years, maybe, because that's how I that's how long it takes me to prepare for it. But moving on, we have the Forever Love deck. If I could only keep one deck, which deck would it be? Obviously, it would be the Shadowscapes Tarot by Stephanie Puimuinla, but I'm going to show you guys another one, because the other, if I can keep 3 decks, it would be the Shadowscapes Tarot by Stephanie Puimuinla, the Marielle Tarot by Marie White, and the Cloud Cards by Clamp. Yep. This is also a deck that it's not exclusively, or not, it wasn't made for divination, although Sakura does use it for that in the series at one point. But oh my god, the art on this tarot is just, I mean, I'm sorry, the art on the Cloud Cards, this is not a tarot, this is not an oracle deck. I use it as an oracle deck, sort of. I just know every single thing about these cards, by watching the anime, by reading the manga, and just by sheer nostalgia. It's so wonderful, and I'm looking at these images and I'm just smiling because I like, oh my god, I had to give it a rest because I've been using the cloud cards for years now to help me with my well, before I was doing monthly readings, but now I'm doing the Sabbath readings instead. I changed my practice recently, and actually I've been enjoying doing that very well. I just, this deck makes me so happy. This deck makes me incredibly happy, and it pairs very well with the Shadowscapes Tarot and the Marielle Tarot. It's just so beautiful, and just so on par with what I feel these cards are representing with their depictions. This, for example, this watery card, I mean, this is water. This is the spirit of water. This is the spirit of water, in my opinion. It's just, yeah. It's wonderful. Each card has a different meaning. Each card has a different sort of power. And it just makes me happy. These cards just make me happy. Oh, I love this dream card. They are wonderful. They are incredibly good to use for divination, I find. I don't think that the cloud cards will be for everybody, because I do feel like the reading with the cloud cards would be so much richer if you watch watch the anime and read the manga. But they had to be on this video because I won't be able to part with any of those 3 decks. But as in any case, yes, I know I cheated. We're working with it. But the last one is the love letter card, a card that feels like a love letter to myself or someone special. So I chose the card that for somebody special, and that special person is my husband. And this card over here, the King of Pentacles, in any of the decks that I have, is the card that I most relate to my husband. But especially this one, the King of Pentacles from the Exile Tarot by Woe Studios, the Awakened edition actually, by Woe Studios, is the card that most reminds me of him. I mean, this person even looks almost like him. The hairstyle, the glasses, the fact that his eyes look tiny with the bottle glasses. Oh my God. It's just such a resemblance, and it feels like this king also has some. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it seems like this honey or jam or whatever it is that he's eating. I think it's honey, is spilling over onto his shirt, and that is such a thing that my husband does. And it's so adorable, and it's just, this is the card that I most equate to him, and I just love it. I just love it. This sort of mature innocence, and that he seems to exude. It's so difficult to explain, but yes, every time I'm using the Exile Tarot and I get the King of Pentacles, I just immediately think of my husband. There's something wrong with my husband. There's something going on with my husband. I'm gonna ask my husband if there's something I can do to help. And it turns and probably it never turns out to be something major, but yeah. My husband is the second most important person in my life. Guess which person is the most important in my life? Put it down in the comments. See if you guys get it. But yes, this card makes me happy. This card makes me smile, and this card makes me think of my husband. I just love it, and I just love the card, and I just love him too. But yeah, there it is, guys. That is the tag for today. Oh, dropped my pen. Hopefully this video is not so long, but thank you so much for to Han from Simply Han that tagged me on this video. I am sorry that I wasn't able to get it for Valentine's Day, but as an Aromantic, meh, it is what it is. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye, guys. Ooh, pretty. Yeah, okay. I'm not really sure what my husband is going to use for the... There we go. Clap, clap, clap. For the thumbnail on this, but I just realized that I'm wearing pink for a Valentine's Day tag. Now everybody's going to think that I did this intentionally, which I didn't. But doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Oh my God.